Hey guys, how's it going? I have a few chainsaw files, so for filing chains, and they don't have any handles. So you can buy handles for these, but I think I'm just going to make some fly-ass handles out of some Ipe blocks. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. So let's get started. So the first thing to do is to drill the hole, because that's just going to be the center of everything. So this is a smaller hole than the dimensions of the file. Just make sure that's tight. Clamp that in. Start that up. Go in slowly. And come out ever so often. You can see how the wood burns. Bring that in a little bit closer. That burns. So that's what happens. Also, this is really, really hard wood, so it burns a lot. I could have also lowered the speed a little bit, but I'm quite lazy, so I didn't do that. So that's going to come out. Put that here. Let that cool down a little bit. Actually, a piece of wood just burned my hand, but that's okay. That goes in there. Tighten that up. All right. We're going to be doing this with a skew chisel. To worry about. So this is something I just want to talk about quick. You saw I had a catch, right? Okay. This is something that I talked about. I actually talked about it with a friend recently. When something bad happens, a catch, something kicks, anything bad happens. All right. The first thing you do is glance over it and keep going. Not what I mean by that is not don't learn from your mistakes. That's a bad thing to do. You always want to learn from your mistakes. What I mean is don't sit around contemplating your mistake forever, because then you'll just get scared, and then it's going to be really, really hard for you to move past that. So as you see, I had a catch. And it happens. Catches happen. I haven't used a skew for a while, so I am a little bit out of practice. And also, this tool is starting to get dull. And when a tool gets dull, catches happen more often. So, I'm going to go sharpen the tool, and I'm going to move on from it. There you go. And also, if you get a catch at this stage, I'm going to remove so much material from this, so it's not a big deal. So, again, as you're getting catches, when you start out, because you will get more catches when you start than when you're, I don't want to say at my level, because I'm still very, very new to this, so I'm not an expert, but better. You're still going to get catches, just don't let it be such a big deal. And when you're new and you get a lot of them, just learn from them. Don't get scared of catches. So I'm just going to go sharpen this quick. And another thing is, you're going to get more catches with a dull tool than you will with a sharp tool. So that's another thing. If you're thinking, oh, I won't sharpen my tool so I won't get catches, that is wrong. Because you're going to have to push more. And the more you push, the more chances you have of making a mistake. So now, we're going to do the tenon. So this is like any handle. So I just measured the inside of the ferrule. Why do I have a ferrule? because one, it looks really cool. Second, it helps the wood from not splitting when you ram the file in. And these are going to be exchangeable handles. So once I ram it in and take it out, I still want the hole to be tight so I can fit a new file if you want to replace it. So ferrule is the right diameter. I'm going to use my little beading and parting tool, which is Richard Finley's favorite tool. And I'm just going to do a 10. Then we go 2 hands. And as usual, we want to test it. I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure this is going to be too big. Yep, I'd rather be wrong than be off. So very slightly. That was stupid. I should have waited. Now there's a little bit of wiggle room. I could hammer it in, but I can still take off a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is put that in. And as you can see, I'm only tightening it a little bit. If I start cranking this, that's going to split because it is hollow in the center. It's held in a chuck. I could spin this like that if I wanted to. This just allows me to have a little bit of extra support. So that's why I'm using the tailstock. But again, I'm only using it to have something there. I'm not using it to actually put pressure because I don't need to. I'm held in a chuck. So and I'm pretty sure that's going to be good. Wait till that slows down. Yeah, and then just grab this, get the tailstock out of the way. Let that move in. Just stick that in right there. Now that moved a little bit out of whack, which is not good, but because I have a tailstock, I can actually just go put that back into center because the hole is there. So I can just go back there. And as you see, that's off a little bit, so I'm just gonna that's the only downside of this technique, is that you have to make sure that you keep center, because I'm holding it on very little amounts of wood so I can get the maximum diameter, the maximum length. There we go. That's good. See? Easy peasy. Now, you can do the shape. Now I'm just going to go with a classic handle shape. So I enjoy them. I think shapes like these are just ergonomical. You can hold you're holding the ferrule, so you're close to the end of the tool. You're not holding the handle itself. You're holding this, so it just fits in your hand. And yeah, so I'm just gonna do a shape like that. So that's how I make all my tools. So you can actually see that's the same shape as here because I hold it close to the ferrule. I don't believe in holding skews really far back. Skews are meant to be held here, so you can have lots of, you don't have to, I don't know. I just find that you have more control with your hand here, because if you're here, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure because you're far away from the fulcrum, which is the pivot point. But if you're here, it's really easy because you're basically here, so it's really easy to put force down in here when you're close than when you're far away, so close to the ferrule. Anywho, so let's just do that. A good sharp tool makes all the difference. down. Stand at this point. I try to get as much off as possible, but just turn that off like that. And then just take a very coarse sanding paper and just smooch. And then, oops, just sand that over like so. And now these are going to be varnished with the spray-on lacquer, like I use my other tools, so that they are durable and last long. The best would be CA finish, but I'm going to ask someone at the Woodturners Club to help me with that because he has his own very specific recipe. And they're a little bit chunky, but you want to have some chunk because if it's too thin, it just doesn't feel right. So I'm going to get these in, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. So I have two here. So very standard project, right? And if you're, I will say this, I think handles are the best beginner project you can possibly think of. Especially when because you can make any sizes, right? This is perfect skew practice. Just nice flowing curves, right? Parting off, making a tenon, making a nice bulb. It's just a good skew practice technique. It practices centering it, getting a tenon to the right shape. And then you could also, so if you're looking for small skew practice, that is one. But then you could also look for big skew practices, which is a very big handle. So I think that making handles, one, serves a purpose because you're going to use this, especially if you're a woodturner and you have a chainsaw. Very good to keep a chain sharp. I will make a video on chainsaw maintenance and that eventually. But it's a very good project for that, and they're useful. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, happy turning, and we'll see you next time.